Time for Minnesota. Good penalty killer. Lots of strumming at the blue line. Minnesota's Govaderis is slowed down. That could easily be an interference call. Smith not called. And LA trying to work up ice. Dave Christian keeping tabs on the defenseman back there. Number 9, Gordiak. Long shot, rises wide of the Moose goal. Gagnon, who loves to come out and play the puck, clears it off the glass. It goes out of play.
Now they're not going to call this one. Hit the glass, one out of play. No, should be no call.
It's just when it's directly fired over the glass.
Directly fired out without hitting any piece of the glass.
He's GM and coach of the LA Ice Dogs, John Van Boxmeer.
He's had a lot of success as a coach. Lots of success. Led Rochester to an American League title. And he was a pretty good, solid defensive defenseman when he played the National Hockey League. Big, strong.
Yep, I remember him well. You know, you can really see his influence on this team too, Pat. Being in the AHL for 11 years, he's got a lot of players on this team that he has brought with him from the American Hockey League to play here.
Yeah, and remember, all those guys were rookies when he was coaching there. Now they've got some more experience. He brings them to this league where it's a much older league, and you can tell why, you know, they're doing so well.
A 3-on-2 break for Minnesota, but Chris Jensen's shot rises off the goalkeeper Littman and out of play.
That's one thing they've been doing a little bit better of while he's hitting the net earlier in the year, missing a lot of nets and having the puck go all the way back down in their zone. Now they're starting to hit the net a little bit more and get some rebound goals and going to the net. Here's Moran. He's just going to get it across here to Chris Jensen. Jens comes over the blue line and lets it rip, gets it on net. Fortunately, Littman did a good job of steering the rebound high over the glass. Imperative that you hit the net when you take your shots. You really hurt your team if you don't do that.
Go, go, go.
And because of the power play advantages that LA has had, they've outshot Minnesota 10-3 at this point in the game. Still a half a period to go here in the opener. From center, Mike Muller drives it in. Two teammates tag up, getting back onside. Here's Moran sending it out for the Palma. He couldn't get past the last defenseman, and back come the Ice Dogs. Here's Lilly down the left side. Tied up on the play by Chris Miller, right back at it. Lambert can't hold the line, and they'll regroup at center. Whoops, Martini having troubles reaching that one. Jensen lifts it in, and Minnesota will change their forwards. Lilly up on the right side. He's on loan from Anaheim, was in Baltimore in the American League earlier this year. Gagnon flips it around for Minnesota. Hines is checked. Lilly feeds it to the other side. Hustles after it himself, but Minnesota breaks out. Corvo trying to play it ahead. Does. Leaves a handoff, but it's going to be offside as Ken Hodge was dumped to the ice and was trapped inside the zone as Imes brought it in.
Hodge's seen a lot of time killing penalties, and he's very good at it. Take a look at his stick there. He used an extra long stick, so when he's killing penalties, he's very good at poke checking the puck away. You know, it's kind of a deceiving. Uses it, you know, kind of as a cue stick, pool cue stick, and you know, just very, very good at that. And that that really aids him in his penalty killing.
What an addition Jim Pack has been for the Moose since he was acquired. Very smart, 9th-year pro. Spent the last 4 years playing in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, and as you said, he has been very good here. He's been a +8 since the trade from Houston.
Oh.
Come on.
Here's Pack, number 5. The big little guy. Lost out. Augusta shoots just wide. On the far side, number 14, Dave Smith after it. He's checked. And dumped to the ice. Pack checking it out behind his goal. Jim Pack, born in Seoul, Korea, grew up in Toronto. Headman pass to center is stopped. The Ice Dogs doing a good job in that defense, or the neutral zone, Pat, and breaking up a lot of Moose plays. Here's Dave Smith taking a shot. It's deflected wide. Augusta goes after it, but gave it away, and here comes Minnesota right back. Chris Govaderis, 1 against 2. Winds and fires, it hits a leg, he gets it right back, hits this shot right on goal. Loose puck. Hodge in for it from Minnesota. Hodge into the slot. A backhander by Smith is right on, and Littman outside the crease covers it up. Still no score. 8:26 to go. We'll return to Target Center for more New Year's Eve Pro Hockey. When the defending Turner Cup champion Utah Grizzlies are in town. And that game will be at the St. Paul Civic Center.
Well, let's see if the Moose can get some flow going now. They've been in the box quite a bit this period. Haven't really had a chance to really get their game in motion. Let's see if they can do that now. 5-on-5.
Ivan Corvo trying to work away from number 21, Mark Chris. Gets it to the point. A long shot right on goal by Mike Muller. Is stopped by Littman. Corvo turns, wheels it down low. Hodge can't get to it as it's taken away from him by number 28, Greg Smith. Now lots of banging along the boards. Will be an LA penalty. Here's Smith jumping a Moose player as he threw the big hit. Brad Miller trying to get loose and get his weight going, but everybody's all tied up. Now Corvo is squared off with John Bice. Or is that Tracy Egeland? And Sandy Smith doing a little pushing. The fireworks are starting early on this New Year's Eve.
Well, Smythe really took a big run at Brad Miller. Miller earlier in the game had given Augusta a shot, and Smythe came back and just ran him. Smythe they acquired from Chicago earlier in the year. Big, strong defenseman, really took a run.
Yes, he did. And he's going to get the extra penalty out of all this because referee John Potter did have his arm in the air for it. And you see the officials now converging back in the zone.
And Minnesota has some good work ethic there in the corner, controlling it, working hard, keeping the puck in the LA zone. And then Smith took about 4 or 5 steps, knocked Brad Miller down. Big collision.
Now he and Ivan Corvo now are jostling over at the penalty box, yapping away.
Well, I think Smith kind of took out both those guys.
Yeah, he did.
They're both along the boards.
And that's smart. I think the officials should hold their conference right down there. There's a lot of Moose players gathering around the penalty box, yapping away right back at number 28, Greg Smith.
Well, it's good to see them.
It is good to see that.
Take care of themselves here in their own rink. They don't want to start getting pushed around. They may give Smith 10 here.
And Smith is irate as he looks across, glaring at referee John Potter.
Well, you see Larry DePalma over there. I'm sure he's got a few words for him.
Well, he's talking with Dan Lambert. They were teammates in San Diego last year for a short time. I think he's getting tossed from the game with language like that.
See, and that takes their physical presence away from the game now. This should really help Minnesota because he's one of the guys, really their only guy who does a majority of the hitting for them.
Yep.
It makes some of their smaller guys play a little bit bigger, but now with him gone, should really benefit Minnesota.
Grab a party hat and one of these cheap lays we're handing out and start your festivities early, Greg. And we still feel there's going to be an extra minor penalty handed at Smith. And this is how it all started up along the wall. 28 is Smith. Now watch where he goes from there.
Yeah, he's just gonna, you see Corvo going at it now. Brad Miller, oh, he just takes a big run. I thought it was Brad Miller. Brad Miller actually comes in there and
he had dropped the glove
to the aid of Ivan. And that was an elbow high up in the
Smith.
face.
He receives 2 minutes for charging, a minor for instigating, a 5-minute major for fighting, and a game misconduct. To Minnesota's number 4, Brad Miller, 2 minutes for roughing, and a
Now watch
5-minute
Ivan
major
there
for fighting.
battling on the boards, and he didn't even see Smith coming in there. And Ivan was down in a crouch position. Smith gave him an elbow right to the head, and Brad Miller just comes right in there to the defense of Ivan, who was down on the ice there. See, Smith wanted to go after Corvo, who was down.
Did you see what had started that earlier between Corvo and Smith?
No, I did not.
Me neither.
It may have been a payback. As I said, Brad Miller had put a hit on Augusta early in the period, and Smith comes back and just lays it into Ivan Corvo, who was defenseless there because he did not see Smith coming.
So technically, Brad Miller gets 2 for roughing, 5 for fighting. Smith gets 2 for charging, 2 for instigating a fight, 5 for fighting, and a game misconduct. He's gone, and Minnesota will get a power play out of this.
And you see John Van Boxmeer is not happy with the call here. I'm surprised. I mean, the Moose kind of came away lucky on this because Brad Miller
could have been third man in.
Well, it could have been third man in, could have been instigating too, because he threw the first punch there going in. He came in right away, and Smith saw him coming, and Brad Miller threw the first punch. Normally the person who throws that first punch is going to get the instigator penalty. Not in this circumstance. I think too many things happened there with Smith in the big run that they were bound and determined to get him out of here.
And it's probably what this guy's talking about right now. He felt it might have should have gone the other way.
Yeah.
All right. The box gates are still open. And we're going to take a moment here and tell you a little bit about a birthday bash. Boys and girls, if you're looking for the coolest party in town, why not have it on ice? Grab 10 special friends and head on down to a Moose game for your very own birthday bash. Everyone at the party gets a ticket to watch some awesome pro hockey and a set of foam Moose antlers. The birthday boy or girl also gets their names on the scoreboard and a Moose puck. The whole gang can head to Hardee's for a pre-gamer with a $20 gift certificate. All that is just $79. That's right, $79 for the best party in town. Call the Moose at 26 Moose for more information. And listen to the kids here. A lot of birthday bashes tonight, eh?
Yeah.
Power play for Minnesota, their second one of the game. They're 0 for 1. It's a scoreless first period. And we've had a rash of penalties called in this one. A whistle on the play as the puck is knocked down with a high stick from Minnesota. There's Dave Christian.
Yeah, hitting the eye with that puck, and was going to play in Vegas a week ago, I believe it was, and went out for warm-ups and started coughing up some blood and stuff, and so they decided to send him out. He's going with the visor tonight. Amazing at his age, the levels that he's still playing at.
We'll be chatting with Dave in our first intermission. Minnesota on power play as Ike Corvo comes across the line. Is tied up. De Palma chases the loose biscuit behind the net. Gets swept around the boards by Joseph Cherney, but not out. Minnesota's Christian keeping it in. Fed down low for Moran into the slot for Christian, but off the heel of his stick as he had to reach for it. Dave Smith gets it ahead. Shot by Lambert, blocked, and Minnesota's Moran coming right back. He has had 3 straight three-point games. Feeds it down behind the goal. De Palma in front. Pack at the point. Fakes the shot. Feeds it over now to Moran. Down low. Corvo couldn't get the centering pass home. Pack around the goal now for De Palma to Moran. Christian to De Palma. They got Moran, and it's finally taken away from him and cleared by Dan Lambert.
Well, they got Ivan Corvo in front of the net. Larry tried to get him the pass there and just missed Ivan by about a foot there, or else it would have been a backdoor goal. But moving the puck pretty good right now.
Sandy Smith streaks up the middle, puts the binders on. Shot is right on goal, and Littman had to be quit on that receiving shot. Smith again for Minnesota. Lost it out. 2-on-1. Gordiak can't quite break it free. Minnesota turns it back up ice. Iams to Govaderis. A bouncer is hard to control. And Jensen will slide it back for Chris Miller. Millsy across center. Rattles it in. Coming up the weak side is Jensen. It bounces off him in front. Govaderis shoots right on. And Littman comes up with that stop. That play worked.
Yeah, great opportunity there. They got the puck in deep, and it was just bouncing all alone out in front. Chris Govaderis had a chance at it. Littman went down, and Chris was a little too in tight there to get anything past David Littman. Littman's been sharp in this period.
Yeah, he has.
He's come up with 2 or 3 good saves. See, the puck just gets loose, and Chris, it's bouncing there. He doesn't get all of it, but Lippman just went down, knowing Govaderis didn't have a lot of room, and it was in tight, went down, covered up, and just held on.
Boy, if Chris could have had more time. I mean, Lippman did not even go down into a V to spread the pads. If he could have got control, he would have surely picked a corner. Dave Littman, as we said, hasn't played a lot lately. 28-year-old out of Flushing, New York.
He's a teammate of Ken Hodge at Boston College, so I'm sure Hodge would like to get one past him tonight.
And his former mate right there, Hodgie, kicked out of the face-off circle. Corrival takes a draw, spins to the ice. Here's John Lilly with it. Down into the Moose zone, Chris Miller to Hodge, who just banks it off the board to center. Power play for Minnesota is over. LA back at full strength. Lilly dumps it into the weak side. There's a penalty coming up against Minnesota. It'll be another interference call as John Potter is watching out for these slow down tactics. LA will go on the power play, their third of the period. Wednesday night at 7 p.m. at the St. Paul Civic Center. You can watch them play division rivals, the Milwaukee Admirals. Should be a great matchup coming out this Wednesday with your Target Treat Seats coupons, and receive 2 tickets for the price of 1 to see the Moose play Milwaukee at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's important against your division rivals that you take care of business in your division. Those are technically 4-point games, and Milwaukee has got a strong club once again this year, led by Tony Herkis and Gino Cavallini. So
yep.
they're a strong team, but the Moose are right there, they're only 2 points behind them. So it'll be a big game on Wednesday night.
Getting crowded down there.
Sean Williams and Brad Miller. Williams once again will go off for interference, his second interference penalty of the game. That's what makes it so difficult with this new rule. You just can't hold up the forechecker coming into the zone. You have to be creative on it, maybe just try to get in the way, but showing any force with your stick of holding a guy up, they call it just like that, and Willie got called again.
Technically, shouldn't they be watching interference on the other side too, where pushing guys at the blue line?
You think they would. Now you see Williams right there. If we can stop it just for a second, he just gets in the way for a split second there, and they're calling that. They're not letting. In years past, well, you see the LA guy take a little bit of a dive, but still, in years past or even last year, you could hold that guy up and they would not call anything like that. Now, even when you get your stick on him, as we've seen tonight, and 2 calls on Williams, 2 penalties.
Okay, a little ice repair back behind the Minnesota goal, and now we're set to resume action. No score in this game if you just tuned in. Minnesota 1 point was outshot 10-3. They have taken the next 6 shots, and now it's a 10-9 margin. Now there's some interference as Pack is dropped to the ice. Still has the puck. Pack trying to skate away from Bice, is dropped to the ice once again. Bice taking control back behind the net for Augusta. Patrick Augusta, number 26. Centers it. And thankfully, the LA player Bice couldn't hang on to it. Otherwise, he had a wide open net just to tap it home.
Yeah, they're trying to do the same thing the Moose are doing. Try to get that backdoor play. Minnesota's got to be cognizant of it. And that weak side forward's going to have to come down and help out the defenseman.
Dan Lambert across to Darcy Martini. The big cannon is right on goal. And a fine save by Dave Gagnon. Boy, Martini can blast it, eh?
Yeah, he can. And he's got the record for shots in the league in one game this year with 13. So wow. They try to use him a lot in the power play. He's a former Moose player. Was with us at the tail end of the season last year. Plays called Chalky, Michigan Tech, but he had 13 shots in one game on December 16th this year. And he's right up there, 7th in the league for scoring for defensemen. Watch him rip it. He's a big guy and he gets everything behind it. Luckily, David Gagnon had clear vision of that and was able to glove it down, but he's got a big, heavy shot.
6'4", 235 pounds.
Actually broke his ankle in the first playoff game by him last year in Denver.
That's right.
And was lost for the playoffs. Granted, it was a short playoff. Only 3 games last year for the Moose, but faced a tough Denver team, which is now in Utah, and once again, very strong.
Joseph Cherney. Cross-ice pass broken up by Andy Schneider, trying to hustle around. Dan Lambert does. One hand on the stick. He tries to cut in, but he's hauled down. And we're not seeing a great deal of consistency in penalty calls here tonight. And Frank Serratore is giving Potter a mouthful as he skates by the Moose bench.
See, LA likes to play a diamond power play, leaving only one guy up top. That's a big reason why they've given up so many shorthanded goals.
Dan Lambert sends it home as he cuts in from his point position and drills it into the upstairs corner.
Yeah, he's sneaky like that. He'll go in at any possible time, and that's why he's the second leading scorer in the league for a defenseman. Watch Lambert. They're just going to get the puck deep in the zone here. I believe that's Patrick Augusta with the puck. Now watch Lambert sneak in on the opposite side there on that weak side. He's left all alone and was just able to put it in high above David Gagnon.
Dan Lambert will be our guest in the second intermission tonight. He's having a phenomenal season out of St. Boniface, Manitoba. Now has 5 goals in the last 5 games. 5'8".
And he was telling us before the game, he played 1 year of high school hockey with Larry Olam in Warroad.
That's right. A year that they said, it was back in '85, Warroad went unbeaten during the season, and it was a surprising first round playoff upset.
Yeah, he wanted us to say hello to all the people up there, the Marvins, the Christians. He hasn't forgotten yet.
Here's a chance for Gillingham. He scores! Todd Gillingham coming straight up the slot. Had a dipsy, then doodle, and rifle it home on the right-hand side of goalkeeper Dave Gagnon. It's 2-0, Ice Dogs.
Well, you wonder if Minnesota's getting a little scared of hooking and holding guys in their own zone there. That time, Gillingham walked in all alone. No one touched him, and he's a big, strong guy. Gets a piece of the puck and puts it past Gagnon. See, a little turnover here at the LA blue line. John Lilly, former Olympian, gets the puck, and see Gillingham. Oh, he just beats Chris Jensen there. Goes in and puts it high over the blocker of Dave Gagnon, but pretty much goes untouched all the way in. And now LA has a quick 2-0 lead here.
Lambert in his own zone. Feeds it across ice, picked up by Joseph Cherney. Second round draft choice by Buffalo back in '92. Cherney was. Minnesota keeps it in. Here's Sean Williams after it. The goalkeeper, Littman, hands it over to Govaderis behind the net. Here's Williams. Tight quarters back there. It's much smaller area behind the net than at the Civic Center. Here is Williams. To Pack. Back to Williams. There's a penalty coming up. It'll go against Minnesota once again. And LA coming up out of their own zone. Dave Smith flips it across ice, but it's offside. Ice Dogs. Oh, this is a tough one for Minnesota tonight, Pat, on the penalty parade.
Yeah, that's you never want to take a penalty in the offensive zone, and Chris Govaderis was tied up with that Los Angeles defenseman. I think he got Chris, gave him a little shot first, and then there's a little retaliatory there right in front of Potter here. We're going to take a look at it in front of the LA zone. Minnesota working hard with Dave Christian down there. You see Govaderis tied up with the LA defenseman, and he just went a little too hard there. He gave a little cross check to the back of the net right in front of Potter, and Chris is going to go for 2 minutes.
And that's a good penalty call.
It was a good penalty call, and once again, you hate to take penalties in the offensive zone, especially when you have some momentum going in that particular zone. It really slows play down, and here with 2.5 minutes left, going to give LA, which has a great power play and already has one power play goal tonight, an opportunity to stretch the lead to 3.
Here they come. Martini, who got an assist on that first goal, had it broken up. Lambert carries on. The little guy rifles it in. Nice work by Schneider to pry it loose. Littman to Augusta, turns up the middle. A pass blocked. Smith steals from Minnesota. Sandy Smith fires. Good skate save. As sticking out that right leg was netminder Dave Littman. Martini back. A four-man rush for LA. Down the left side. Back to Martini in the slot, and he whistles it just wide. Bouncer still loose. Weiss has it. Turns it to the corner. Now to Martini at the point. That goes wide. Here's Dave Smith with it. Smith backing up. Sends it down low. Augusta threw it through the crease wide. Lambert on the left side. Back down low. Loose in front is Augusta. He turns over to Weiss, but he had to reach back for it. Weiss to Lambert. To Martini. Pokes it back into the zone, but Minnesota breaks it up. And here they come right back the other way. Schneider leaves a trailer for Smith. Back to Schneider, but the pass was high and hit him in the leg. 1:13 to go in the period. A half minute left in the LA power play. Gurdiak shooting it in for the Dogs. Gagnon. Top of the glass, not out. Gurdiak holds it in. Down to the corner. Back to Victor Gurdiak. Gurdiak just